Good day, everybody. This is a Florida Golden Girl. Today's travel adventure takes us down a side road in the town of Yalaha, Florida. We're going to be looking at two different cemeteries located on either side of the road with two distinct names and two distinct histories. Today we're going to be looking at one cemetery. It was established in 1921. It's a church cemetery, folks, and it's an interesting one. First thing I noticed is that they immediately erected this fence. It hasn't been here long. I've been down this road before, looking at different things. But today we're going to be taking a look at St. Matthew's Church of God by Faith Cemetery in Yalaha. Again, established in 1921. Most of the places around here are local residents, and I imagine it's no different than the people that are interred here. So immediately when I look in, see this big tree? Now, from previous visits down this road and through the cemetery, this was sustained from the hurricanes that came through in the year 2022. And they've just sort of left it here. They haven't done anything with it. I mean, it's an old cemetery. And so there's several overturned headstones. So this looks like this is a recent one. 1999, and then this is one where they were died in 1949, and then there's quite a few above ground graves, I imagine, because of the flooding that can come through this area. These are more recent graves. You got a 2017 with all the nonsense, the fake flowers. And then you've got 2013. And then you've got a couple here, let me pan out, that the markers are so worn down that you can't even detect. So there is no boundary where all this is, but then who's going to take a chance and try and enter a cemetery where all that brush is? So I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm with my sidekick, who's being his usual annoying self. So he died in 2001. I have the cemetery to myself, and as I mentioned before, each one has their own unique charm. These are, you got one, he was 1916 to 1985, and that's 1994. These are more recent graves. Do you see that over there? On the other side, that's just unplowed farmland. You've got the more recent graves. This is a newer one here. She died in 2021. And then they died in 1914. I'm trying to determine if this was a cemetery that was established in 1921, where are the older graves at? Because I don't see that here right yet. Now, these are all recent ones here. I mean, to be buried in a place down a forgotten country road probably ain't a bad place to be. And it looks like somebody was buried over there. But there's no headstone. It's just like, well, let's just place them wherever. There's no really no semblance of order or anything. Cowboy McNish. So the town of Yalaha is all farmland. It's where they supply local trees, palm trees, and there's a lot of nurseries here. And this used to be at one time a lot of agriculture, but as I mentioned in previous videos about the greedy people that like to destroy land, all for whatever. That's every day I see more woods being torn down so that they can build property and squeeze in as much as they can. Now, if I look over here, there's a lot of trash in that area. It was probably a dumping ground. I've seen sink and things like that. People have no respect. These are all newer graves. I mean, he died in 2018. And then (2018, 2019, 1995). I mean, I don't see anybody that's really a veteran or, I mean, I'm going all the way towards the back, and these are not old graves here. Okay, so we have this. And then you've got some more in the back. And then you have a couple over here. But like I said, this, if I go to the very edge, I don't think, it doesn't look like there's no tombs or anything like that buried all the way back there. I mean, do you see how it goes? I'm at the very back and I'm facing forward. And so this side, which must be all the newer ones. There's no older historic markers. There's no veterans of wars buried here. Yalaha isn't what I would call a rich town. A lot of the richer people live towards Howie in the hills. The trend is that the richer people are escaping the city and they're moving out towards the suburbs. And the reason for that is people want to get away from the nonsense. You see a lot more crime, a lot more angry people, and so if you've got the money and if you can escape that, that's what people are doing. Those that have the money. And so Yalaha's probably, we're going to, in one of our next few videos, we're going to do a drive through Yalaha so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Unless you see it up close and personal, you're not really going to get a gist of what I'm talking about. I mean, you have an imagination, but I see a couple of old headstone markers up here. We'll take a quick look at that, and then I'm going to talk about next week's video. It looks old from the back, but it probably isn't. Okay. So we have a World War I veteran. He died in 59, and let's see if we've got another one over here. Um, 1921. This is the oldest one. So he was a Confederate soldier from Florida. So he was a private with 519th Engineers, and he died in 1921. So these two are the oldest graves. Everything else, well, let's see about this one. Yeah, this, so he's another veteran. So there's two Confederate soldiers in World War I. So he was Florida, but I mean, his name was William Alexander Johnson. And it doesn't give me much more than that. So let's talk about next week's vlog and what you get to look forward to. Across the street is a cemetery called Yalaha Cemetery. This cemetery is an open cemetery, but mostly everybody buried there are Civil War veterans. There's a few that are famous, and we'll talk about that once we arrive across the street next week. But and then the one after that, we're going to do a little drive through the town to give you an idea of what it was like back then. So Yalaha, in my opinion, was a pioneer settlement area devoted exclusively to agriculture, raising farm animals, and where Civil War veterans were out here to escape for a little bit of peace and quiet and for a little better way of life. But yeah, this is our little church cemetery here. So as I go across the street, which you will see if I go through that fence, and it's right across the street. It's going to be a little interesting one, and I hope you will enjoy it. So folks, I hope everybody enjoyed our visit through the church cemetery. Like, subscribe, click on that notification bell to let you know when another video will be uploaded. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, tell the dog, tell a stranger about this channel. Word of mouth is how my channel grows, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you for taking the time for joining me today as I get ready to go across the street. We're going to leave the way we came in. I want to thank you for watching, folks. So long for now.